Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Done Right. I'm here in Orem, Utah, and I'm just coming by a property that we are currently renovating. It's a unit of a fourplex that our client bought just like 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, and so we are just doing a renovation on it, and I'm going to show you guys the progress so far, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about 3 things that most people do wrong or like shortcut, and why you shouldn't shortcut those 3 things, and kind of just tell you about a strategy that we do that I think is the best one. I'm a bit biased because that's how we do it, but I'm pretty sure we're right. So we'll get into it. I'm going to flip this camera around and I'll give you a walkthrough real fast of the property. All right, so I got you to kind of zoomed out a little bit, so it's a bit more of a bubble, but so we began this project I think about 2 weeks ago. Coming along really good. Jorge's still here working tonight even. So I'll kind of just walk you through everything. Sorry, it's kind of like a fishbowl here. Let me zoom in a bit more. Maybe that's better, just so at a 1x. So yeah, it's a nice unit. Okay, you can kind of see we got new cabinets coming in. We got new baseboards. We have new door trim. Craftsman door trim. We put the window frames in. Before it was just like sheetrock with corner beads and everything, and it was pretty banged up. We have the bathroom is all new as well. New toilet, new baseboards everywhere, new tub and surround. I mean, everything is brand new. Okay, and it's a really nice looking property, as you can see. It's just a very clean, simple color scheme. That's just it's very in style right now. And it's going to attract really nice renters. So this right here is luxury vinyl planking. Some call it luxury vinyl tile. It's like the shape of laminate, the individual planks that you lay down, and they're nice because, you know, laminate, if it gets wet, it swells up and it doesn't last. This stuff lasts longer than laminate. It's more durable. It feels nice to walk on. It's also a bit quieter than laminate. It doesn't kind of, it's like not like clickety clackety as you walk on it, right? But with this type of flooring, people put it down. It's pretty common flooring to put because it's beautiful and also durable. Sorry, it's dirty. I mean, construction, you get it. But if you look in the light, this is how I'm showing you this for a reason. This is perfectly flat, right? If the floor is uneven, or there's like, you know, seams that maybe stick up a little bit, or like there's like a nail from the carpet padding that you just kind of pound it in. Maybe it's like kind of folded over. There's some small little bump there. Over time, as this is walked on, like within months, this floor just molds to whatever it's on. My gym has this flooring kind of in the entryway, and as I'm leaving and I'm walking towards the doors, there's a light reflection, and I see like a big crack in the concrete, and I see like some glue splatters, you know, that no one scraped off, and everything is visible. So if you don't install this properly, which means like if you don't float the floor, you get this like a thin set, and you just skim it, right? And before you lay it down, just to flatten everything out, then it won't look as nice for long. And every little raised section is more prone to getting a tear. So if someone's, you know, there's like a raised section over here, they scoot their table, that leg might gouge and rip the tile, the LVP. And you don't want that. So by installing it properly, like nothing can ever snag on it, and it's gonna be way more durable for the long term. So real quick, we're gonna actually head up all of a sudden to Sunset, Utah to a walkthrough. So the day after I shot that footage, I walked through a for sale, an open house up there, and is the perfect example of like remodels, at least the upstairs, of remodels that are typical, where you just keep painting things and changing carpet out, but not actually like fixing things, and how over time, what that property looks like, and everything. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about why, when you can, build a deal to where you can get a fully remodeled unit of everything brand new, and why that's more profitable for the owner in the long run, okay? But real quick, before we also jump over to that footage from this walkthrough, when you do floor to floor, there's actually another layer. So I was talking to Jorge after I shot that footage yesterday, a couple days ago, and you do the thin set, and then a layer of large vinyl tiles, and then the final planking layer on top of that. And that thickness just feels amazing under your foot. It's quiet upstairs for where you are, as well as for the downstairs tenants. And then it's just totally flat to where it's never going to mold to some gross subfloor and just look weird. And also those bumps and those dips, that's what can snag and rip it. If it's installed totally flat, it's basically indestructible. So it's better to do it right and spend the extra cost now. It'll last 3 or 4 times longer than if you install it improperly. It'll have to be replaced much sooner. So do it right. That's the whole point, is to do it right. Now let's go look at this house up in Sunset, where the walls were never retextured and where the baseboards and stuff were never ever replaced. And you'll see what it looks like, even though they've tried to keep up on it and keep it looking nice. So as we're walking through this, I'll try my best to have the voiceover match up with what we're looking at. So far it's been difficult. I've done this like 14 times. This is my last one no matter what. So as I approach up here, I tap right there. I can tell it's dry rotted, and it's mostly just paint over like almost like a styrofoam with how rotted that wood is. It should have been replaced a long time ago. Overall though, you look through, it doesn't look terrible, right? I mean, it's a light gray, which is in style. White trim, white doors, right? That's all in style. You can't tell on this, but it's kind of a bit of a creaky floor under the carpet too. It's there's some soft spots and things that should be leveled to make it feel really nice, and to just keep the value of the property climbing as the market keeps climbing. Eventually, a reckoning comes due where things have to be replaced, and if you don't, if you let your property decline a lot, you won't get that value that you're hoping for in the end. But aside from that, so we're looking at this, right? Tenants are looking at these photos, and it looks pretty good because it's been painted somewhat recently. But then they move in and they see all the details. They see how beat up the baseboards are, hear the creaking floors. They see how and they realize that this owner just doesn't care. They just paint it, and they just paint over any problem, and that's all it takes, right? So then they won't be that careful about causing damage when they see there's been a ton of damage to this property, and he just painted. He didn't even fix it. He doesn't even care. It kind of gives them permission to do the same thing and to be more rough on the property. So then all of a sudden, when their kids want to bring a scooter into the house, they'll let them, and they'll add a few more gashes and gouges to the walls because they'll just cover them up with paint. And the part that matters the most for the owner is that when the property looks like this, not like this, but that's a nice bathroom actually. When the property looks like what we looked at earlier, there's gashes and gouges everywhere, old texturing, bad patch jobs. How are you going to charge the tenants for repairs, right? When they cause a new couple of gouges in the baseboards and you have to go in and try to fix them, how can you charge them when the whole thing is gouged up, right? So that's why it matters a lot. When it's perfect and nice and new, then it's easy to maintain perfection because you just, every repair, it was that tenant, their deposit is going to pay to bring it back up to new standard, and it's the place will stay nice forever, right? Then you don't have to do some big remodel at the end just to sell it. You do the remodel in the beginning, you hold it to perfection. The value is there that you wanted anyways out of it, but then you also got to have higher rents the entire time because it was nice the entire time you owned it, right? Not a remodel and sell it, So you can tell though, I mean, these walls have been painted, but that texturing is so old. It looks pretty gross. Looks very outdated. Coming up here, the bathroom is pretty small. The shower is really small, but if you look, it's the drywall texturing that makes it look super kind of run down, right? Look at that freeze frame coming up. That makes it look, it's very run down. But if it was cleaner paint lines and then a nice smoothed out texturing, it looks so much better. And it would, wouldn't look run down. You get better tenants in there. So moving on here now, this room is kind of off topic a little bit, but as you'll see, it's a pretty dirty room. And my point of showing this is because it lines up with what you want to have in a tenant. I need a tenant that would be okay moving into a place that has this in the laundry room, in any room, but even in the laundry room. It means that if they're okay with it, it means they're used to it. If they're used to that, they're used to living in bad conditions, and they'll bring bad conditions into your home, right? They're probably not that clean themselves, and they'll just trash the place. So, and so what you want to do is have a tenant that wants a nice new place, that will pay a premium for it, that will maintain it and keep it damage free. And when they do cause damage, because you can know it was them that did it, they paid to fix it. What's up, everybody? So, sorry, take two. A bunch of cars drove by and they rev their engines while they're behind me. Just, they can tell I was filming, so start over, I guess. So I just left this property. I did a walkthrough, and as you saw, like in that voiceover little tour that I did, you can see the difference, right? Of the difference it makes to just retexture the walls before you paint them, to get that modern level of texturing, and to redo the baseboards and the door trim, and the doors, in this case especially too, because it's just really, like, it looks good in the photos, and I had a hunch that it'd be like this, and you see it in real life and you realize, like, it just looks really outdated still. And that's not to insult the home. I know that they did what they could, right? But that's why when you're able to, especially if it's a rental property, don't just put lipstick on it over and over and over again, because like all those little gouge marks, they're all still visible, and then the paint gets all clumped up, and you're painting over it again to paint over the new gouges, and the whole time you can't charge the tenants because it was already a super beat up door frame, right? And so it's just like all those repairs are constantly happening on the owner's dime, because there's so much damage and so much age that it's like you can't expect them to make it perfect when they moved in, and that's how it was, you know what I mean? And so when it's just perfectly done and everything is new, it's so easy to keep it at that standard between tenants versus getting a slow decline, where then the owner has to pay for this huge remodel to happen, you know what I mean? And so to replace everything, right? It's nice, and obviously our owner paid for that, but we bought it accordingly, so the money's in the deal to pay for the remodels, and then increase rents and increase value. But then from here on out, all like the bulk of all repairs that happen with tenant changeover is all going to be on the tenant's dime, and so he'll be far more profitable on that property because of that strategy, instead of like this strategy where you just keep covering things and doing the minimum to make it look fresh to get a new tenant in. So anyways, hope that was cool to kind of see the difference there, and so when you do it right. So right as I was about to record, just to say, hey, thanks for watching. These kids bombarded me, so they're going to be in it. But thanks for watching. Hope you learned something new. And remember, I'm going to make a video every single week, and I hope that they'll just, give me some feedback in the comments of like, what do you want to see, or have me talk about, or whatever, if you want anything specific. So, but yeah, please like and subscribe, drop me a comment, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next week.